Hey, what's up everyone? This is Mike from Interiors. You've probably seen I've been putting up a lot more videos on a pretty regular basis lately, so first off I just wanted to say a huge thank you to every one of you that's been watching, commenting, liking, showing love. New subscribers, welcome. I appreciate y'all checking out my stuff, my music, my content. More videos are coming. I'm going to be putting stuff out every week, mini playthroughs and other stuff like that from songs throughout my catalog. Might even do some cover songs if you guys are interested in seeing anything like that. Today I wanted to make a little video talking about some of the gear that I use, guitar-wise and recording-wise when I'm working on music. Honestly, I don't really think any of the equipment that I use is too wild or out of the ordinary compared to a lot of other people like me that are out there. However, some of you have said that you might be interested in seeing what I'm working with. So I figured, why not? I'll make a video, right? I'm gonna kind of break this into two chunks, guitar stuff and recording stuff. So first off, I'm gonna start with guitar stuff. If you've watched any of my playthrough videos throughout the years, you've probably seen that I have a few different guitars, and I have had several different guitars over the years. Altogether, I think I own 8 or 9 guitars. Currently, I'm not going to go over all of them today. Sorry, this is not going to be a crazy guitar-filled video. I am going to go over the 2 guitars that I primarily use the most, the 2 that I used recording my whole new album that's coming early next year. More details on my new album coming soon, so yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. These are the 2 main guitars that I have primarily been using lately, the 2 main guitars that I use recording my new album, so I figured with me making this video about gear now in 2020, I will talk about the guitars that I'm using now in 2020. But yeah, so let's get into it. Alright, so this is my Fender Jim Root Telecaster. These are pretty common. It's a really solid guitar, one of my favorites that I've ever owned. I've had this for about 6 years now. I have no plans of getting rid of it. Like I said, it's just a really solid instrument. It's all stock features for the most part. I mean, I did a couple things. I took the pick guard off of it. I switched out the volume knob and pickup selector for white versus the black that they come with, but other than that, this is all just stock features on a Jim Root Tele. I use this thing for a lot of both rhythm playing and lead playing. I've recorded a lot of my solos on this guitar. Just one of my favorites to play. This is my newest addition to the guitar family, my Agile 8-string Intrepid. I think the exact model might be like an 828. I'm not 100% sure. I did not buy this directly from Rondo Music. I bought my Agile 7-string, which I also have. I bought that one from Rondo Music, but this one I bought used. This thing is an absolute beast as well of an instrument. This was actually the first 8-string I ever owned. I had played a couple in my life various times before, but I had never owned one. I've been playing 7 strings for almost 10 years now, and I found this thing for a really affordable price used online, and I picked it up, and it has become my favorite instrument to play ever since I started rocking this thing. It is an absolute workhorse. I recorded 90% of my new album on this guitar, actually. I used my Telecaster that I just showed you. I used that for some of the solos and some of the leads. But when you hear my new album, every rhythm part, heavy part, riffy part was all recorded on this guy right here. Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of this thing. Just got the single EMG bridge pickup, no tone knob, just a volume knob, very simple. Maple fretboard, just the way I like it. Yeah, so this thing is a beast. Okay, so that's my guitars. Let's talk about strings. I meant to give a little bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of the video, but I completely forgot. I don't have everything physically here with me today that I want to talk about. One of those things is strings. I just changed my strings recently. I threw away the packaging. I do not have it, but I will put a picture right there. There it is. Beautiful. Voila. So yeah, I use NYXL strings. Again, nothing too crazy or out of the ordinary, very common, but they're really great strings. I think a lot of people use them for a good reason. I use them for both of the guitars that I just showed you. I think they actually have 2 different options for 8-string guitars. I use the heavier gauge of the 2, and then for my 6-string, I use one of their kind of mid-range 6-string options, and I tune that to drop C typically. I'll put links in the description below to both of the NYXL specific packs that I use for both of my guitars if anyone wants to check them out. That will be down below. Alright, so next up, picks. So again, with picks, I don't use anything too out of the ordinary. I am a big fan of the Dunlop Tortex picks, these guys right here. You've probably seen these before if you're a guitarist or a bassist, or even if you're dating a guitarist or a bassist, you've probably seen these before. I'm a huge fan of the green and the purple. I think the purple might be slightly heavier than the green. Both of them are a pretty good thickness for me when it comes to playing. I don't like to play a pick where I can feel it bending every time I'm attacking the string. I really need the pick that I'm using to be firm and strong, because a lot of the playing I'm doing is very aggressive. I'm really attacking the strings a lot of the times, and I really need to make sure that my pick attack is going to accurately articulate every note that I want to hit in the way I want it to sound. So yes, I use the Dunlop Tortex for a good portion of my playing. Not 100%. There are times where I'll switch it up to something like a Jazz 3, something a little bit smaller with a little bit of a sharper tip when I'm playing leads and solos. A lot of times I like Jazz 3s. Yeah, that would be the only other pick I might say that I use from time to time. But other than that, it is always these green Dunlop Tortex or the purple option, which is my second favorite. Green is definitely my go-to. Alright, and last thing for guitar gear is this guy right here. Nothing too fancy. You may have seen them before. This is a Groove fret wrap. It might be Groove. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It's G-R-U-V. You can pretty much buy these at any major music store online. Basically what this is a little string dampener, and you wrap it around the strings of your guitar but above the nut, so on the headstock. Here, I'll show you real quick. So there, you can see it, it's right above the nut on my guitar, and this helps to cut out some ambient noise that you might experience when you're recording. It's nothing too noticeable. It's not like you're ever gonna listen to an album and be like, oh yeah, this guy used a Groove fret wrap on his guitar when he recorded those guitar parts, I can tell. But it's something that is very affordable and inexpensive, and it's a really good way to just make sure you're getting the best quality takes possible. Another thing that I use it for is when I'm playing a lead or a solo part, I'll take it and I will slide it up the fretboard a bit, like so, maybe to like around there, just making sure I'm not eclipsing any of the notes that I'm going to need to play. But then that allows me to really solo with a little bit more freedom, knowing that if I accidentally nick, one of these strings with my thumb or something like that, it might not impact the solo as negatively as it would if this wasn't muting all those strings. So I also use it as a string mute. Long time ago, I used to literally take a sock and wrap it around my fretboard. So if you are looking for the free way, get one of your socks and give it the old loose tie around your fretboard, and that acts as a pretty good string dampener as well for when you're recording solos. Okay, so recording stuff now. I guess I'll start with kind of basic, the cables that I use. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that the cables that I use make my sound any better than it would be otherwise, but you guys want to know what I use. I use lava cables when I'm recording. I'll put a link to their website in the description if you're interested in checking out their cables or more about them. I have a few. This is the one I have with me right now. It's orange. Their cables come in a lot of fun colors. They make these coily ones, which I think are kind of cool. They also make standard cables as well. And I highly recommend these guys if you're looking to try out something new. Again, I'm not saying that cables are any kind of make or break, but these are the ones that I use and I like them a lot. So as I mentioned earlier, some of the things I'm talking about in the video today, I don't have with me. One of those things is my interface. Some of my stuff is in storage right now, so I don't have my interface, but I am going to use the magic of video editing to again insert one right here. Boom, there it is. Okay, so I use a Focusrite 2i2 Scarlett interface. I know I keep saying this about every piece of gear I'm talking about, but again, this is nothing too out of the ordinary. Pretty standard interface for home recording type people. I know a lot of similar solo project type people use these Focusrite interfaces. The 2i2 is particularly common. It's a really solid little piece of hardware. I mean, again, the job of an interface is nothing too glamorous, but if you just need something that will take in audio and put it into your DAW from your guitar, this does the job. So then segueing into what DAW do I use? I use Reaper. I have not always used Reaper. I have used different DAWs over the years. Back in the days when I was recording Constant Parallels and Recalibrate, I was using Pro Tools at that time. And over the years, I switched to a different computer. I started trying different things, and I'm at a point now where I use Reaper. I love it. I kind of wish I would have started using it sooner. If you haven't tried it, if you're someone who is looking for a new DAW to try and you've never really tried one before, I do think that Reaper is very intuitive for the first time user. Its feature set is astronomically huge. They have so many features that other DAWs don't have and that you would be surprised that other DAWs don't have. So yeah, I mean, I think everyone should give Reaper a shot. Even if you're someone who uses Pro Tools or Logic or something that's more of an industry standard, you might be pleasantly surprised with Reaper. I know that I was. If you do want to check out more about Reaper, I'm going to put a link in the description for their website as well. So of course, when I'm in my DAW, I use plugins when I'm recording. I am not going to sit here and talk about every single plugin that I use, but there's one plugin that I think most of you are probably the most curious about, which is what do I use to get guitar tones? And that is, and always has been for me, Line 6 Podfarm. Podfarm was a lot more popular maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. I don't think as many people use it anymore. I've just always stuck with it. It's kind of one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentalities. I have tried out some other competitors to Podfarm, like ToneForge. I've tried out ToneForge. I have ToneForge. I just don't use it as much. Really, Podfarm has just always been the best option for me. It's always been the most intuitive. It's always had what I need to get the sounds that I want to produce. So again, it might not work for you necessarily, but this is the plugin that for me has always been the best. It's always got me where I needed to go tone-wise, and I highly recommend it if you're looking to try something new in the world of guitar tone plugins. Yeah, so I highly recommend Podfarm. Once again, link to their website in the description. Alright, well that wraps me up for this video. That is all the gear I had that I wanted to go over today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you were one of the people that was requesting this video, drop a comment, let me know if there was anything that you were surprised about that I used that you didn't think I would be using. Like I said a million times throughout this video, everything I use I think is pretty common. I don't think I use anything too crazy. I don't have any $8,000 custom guitars from Germany, but I think, you know, if you're curious about what I use, this is what I use. And last but not least, I kind of glossed over this earlier, but I do have a new album coming really soon. I can't say exactly when, but it's coming very soon. There are a couple things about this new album that are new that I've never done before with any of my prior releases. So if you've been waiting for more interiors, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm really looking forward to hearing what everyone has to say about it when the new music comes out. You can expect a lot more videos like this. If there's anything in particular that you would like to see me make a video about on this channel, whether it be recording-wise, music-wise, or anything else, drop a comment, let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts. I'm trying to brainstorm as many ideas as I can about different types of videos and content that I can make, so I would really appreciate any input that you have for me. Alright, well I'm going to let you go now everyone. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you have a great day.